أن سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. وبعد. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. وَلِلَّهِ الْحَمْدُ. Verily all praise belongs to Allah, Lord and Sustainer of the world. We praise Allah in the most excellent way. We seek His assistance in our every affair. We beg for His forgiveness. And we repent to Him whenever we violate the boundaries that He has established. We seek refuge in Allah from any of our evil deeds and any residual sin that resides in our hearts. We acknowledge that whomever Allah leads to the path of Islam, no one can lead them astray. As for the one Allah does not guide, no one can guide. We testify and we bear witness that there is no God worthy of worship other than Allah. He has no partners, nor does He have associates. We testify and we bear witness that Allah sent to all of humanity His most beloved, His most favored, His most honored prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And in doing that, He has honored us, the believers, to be a part of the community of the Prophet, the spiritual community of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As Allah tells us in the Quran, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, لَقَدْ مَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Allah Ta'ala says, the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Verily Allah has conferred a tremendous favor upon the believers. And that favor, that tremendous favor, we are a part of the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This has implications that are real if we are believers. This has implications that are real. And inshallah, Allah Ta'ala will keep us as a part of the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Verily Allah is greatest. La ilaha illallah. There is no deity worthy of worship other than Allah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah is greatest. Verily Allah is greatest. وَلِلَّهِ الْحَمْدُ. And all praise belongs to Allah. Beloved brothers and sisters, on this blessed day, on this occasion of Eid, Allah, I'm not going to keep you because this is a day of celebration. This is the day that we get to drink our coffee in the daylight hours, our coffee or our tea or our orange juice, so I'm not going to hold you. But I just wanted to take a few moments of your time to stress the importance of reflecting on this day, on the past 30 days, or the past 29 days. You just experienced. You just completed a tremendous act of worship. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers to Ramadan as the month of Allah. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam referred to Ramadan as the month of the Quran. He referred to Ramadan as Shahru Sabr. Ramadan is the month of patience. There are many, many descriptors for the month of Ramadan. And we experience what Ramadan means. At least we try to. So Allah tells us in the Quran that one of the purposes of Ramadan, why we fast, why we go without food, without drink, without permissible contact with our spouses, right? Why we go even beyond that to strive to practice a form of self-abstinence and discipline that may not come normally, that may not come naturally. And perhaps we can glean from the experience that indeed, as the Prophet ﷺ said, Ramadan is the month of patience. Because you are trying and you are tested during the month of Ramadan. Wallahi, you are trying and tested if you're really trying to fast. Allah says in the Quran, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. That fasting has been prescribed upon you as it has been prescribed upon those who came before you. So fasting for the sake of God is not a new thing in spiritual terms. People of other religious traditions engage in fasting in various manners. But the fast of Allah, the fast of the Quran, the fast of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَإِنَّهُ لِي وَأَنَا أَجْزِي بِهِ. That if you complete the fast for Allah, Allah will reward you accordingly. Because this fast demands from you a depth of faith and belief. A depth of faith. Meaning that you can't fast Ramadan and not be conscious of what you're doing. And if you are not conscious of what you are doing, after you have forsaken eating and drinking and permissible contact, after you have forsaken speaking in manners that you may speak in outside of Ramadan, holding yourself, restraining yourself. If you do all of this unconsciously, God help you. Because this means that the meaning of the fast has gotten by you. Because you can't help but think when you are battling the pangs of hunger, because you feel the hunger. You feel the thirst. You feel the temptation. You may go through the day and you know you're really thirsty. You're working, you say, man, I could just use a glass of water. And you may reach for a glass of water and say, what are you doing? Right? And you're doing this for Allah. Why are you doing this? Becomes the question. Allah says, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. So that you may attain some idea of what it means to have taqwa. What it means to really be conscious of Allah. That you do something and you remove as many of the ulterior intentions and motivations. And you try to strip them down to the most basic motivation, which is to please Allah. Because you know Allah is watching. And you know Allah is keeping tally. And you know that Allah will ask you about those 29 or 30 days. Did you fast them or not? Did you go out in front of people looking like you were fasting? Because you weren't eating and you weren't drinking. But then in the confines of your home, you're eating and drinking because it was about other than Allah. No, it's very difficult to do this. In fact, it's difficult to pretend to fast. The Prophet ﷺ, for that reason, said that if fasting does not restrain you from things that you would indulge in normally, he wasn't talking about eating, drinking, and contact. He was talking about ways that you talk, what you listen to, what you focus on, how you conduct yourself. If fasting doesn't restrain you, then Allah doesn't need you to go hungry or go thirsty. Because that's not the point of the fast. That is the surface level. That is the beginning of the fast. But the meaning of the fast, the true, deep meaning of the fast, is that you abstain lillah. That you learn that you are capable, your wiring, your spiritual wiring, you are capable of doing more for Allah than you think you can. Then your mind will tell you, then even your heart will tell you. Because once you begin to fast and you make the intention to fast, wallahi, you see what you are capable of. I'm not talking about any crazy stuff, except how you behave. How you move as a person knowing that Allah is watching. Because this is what Allah says to us. أَلَمْ يَعْلَمْ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ يَرَى? Does he not know, does she not know that God is watching everything? Sometimes we forget this, or we act as if we forget it. That I can do whatever I want, because Allah doesn't have chains on me. Right? I can violate the boundaries that I just mentioned, asking for forgiveness for. I can violate those because they're not seen with the eye, but they are real. And the thing that keeps you is this consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That we hope, as Allah says, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, that you hope you get a little bit, you taste it. You taste it. You know, sometimes people say, and as I'm sure you may have had this experience, maybe with a coworker, right? Maybe with a classmate. Ramadan starts and you're fasting. And people marvel, oh, you're fasting? You can't eat food all day? Yeah, all day. You can't even have a glass of water? Not even a glass of water. Not even water? Because people can't believe it. But it's not about the food and it's not about the water. It's about your heart. I repeat, it's not about the food. It's not about the water. And every time you tell your heart to stop, the heart stops. Because the heart knows. A part of this consciousness is that we become sensitized to what the heart is telling us. The messages that Allah allows the heart to transmit. The spiritual messages reside in the heart. And they are transmitted through your spiritual DNA. This is called your dhamir, your consciousness. Every person has a dhamir, a consciousness. Every person is wired to know right from wrong. They don't have to know all of the Quran. They don't have to know Bukhari and Muslim. They don't have to sit with the most knowledgeable sheikh, because everyone knows it's in your DNA. And then the heart receives the spiritual messages that Allah sends. How? When you hear something and you recognize it as the truth, now you may go through some cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when you receive something and you don't know how to react to it. You have a conflict. We all battle this. We all fight this battle. Why do we fight this battle? Spiritually, because our souls know. Allah made the souls believers. Then we can make the soul a kafir. We have that ability. But Allah made the souls believers. فِطْرَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي فَطَرَ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهَا. Allah made the human being, the design, every human being. Every human being. This is why even people who are not Muslim, they contemplate the deeper questions of life. This is why they do it. They don't know that the answer is in surrender. They just know that these questions exist. Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? What does all of this mean? Why is the question that every human being asks? Allah tells you the answer. وَأَنَا رَبُّكُمْ فَاعْبُدُونَ. I am your Lord, therefore bow before me and worship. Surrender to me and worship. That's the message. The simplicity is mind-boggling. Because you can lose direction. This is how you can make your soul a kafir. Because you refuse to listen to the message. You refuse to allow your soul to receive. See, Islam is surrender. When you stop resisting so that your soul can receive. When you hear the Quran, Allah is talking to your soul. He's talking to you. And you can resist by intellectualizing. Well, no, it doesn't really mean that. And you can even do that with La ilaha illallah. Allah Ta'ala says, فَاعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. And you can, so there's only one God? Well, how is that? You mean to tell me all this stuff in the world and only one God did that? Come on, man. Because this is the mind trick. The mind can play this kind of trick on you. And this is a form of resistance to the essential, most basic truth of your existence. You are here by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we talk about the lessons of the fast being many because, every year Ramadan can reveal something to you, can show you something about yourself because it's about you. Ramadan is not about other people. It's not about what everybody else is doing. It's not about what the Muslims in another place are doing. Ramadan is literally about you. This is why Allah said, وَأَنَا أَجْزِي بِهِ فَإِنَّهُ لِي وَأَنَا أَجْزِي بِهِ. You go 29 or 30 days striving to seek this deeper understanding, Allah will reward you accordingly. You did it. You did it. Right? You prayed what you could. You fasted how you could. Even if you didn't make it the entire month. I mean, some people, it's hard. Ramadan is hard. I'm not suggesting that it's easy. It's a form of jihad. The Prophet ﷺ said, Shahru sabr. Because you have to hang in there with Ramadan. You have to hang in there when the energy, the physical energy is low. Then the Imam got the nerve to say, come to the masjid tonight. And you're like, come on, man. I've been fasting all day, working all day. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. I got stuff to do. Now you want me to come pray in the mosque? Right? Because the energy is low. This is natural. So don't feel bad about that. But Ramadan is about fighting the urge to do less, anticipating the reward of doing more. That's why you fight the urge to do less, because the reward of doing more is so much. And so sometimes when you struggle, the blessing for you is in overcoming whatever your struggle is. Because invariably, you don't get through Ramadan with a perfect record. Even though you make the intention of doing that. And I'm talking real talk here. Right? Some of us have a problem with how we talk, what we say, controlling our tongues, right? I know, by day 15, someone pushes the wrong button and you give it to them and they say, oh man. This is why the Prophet ﷺ says, Allahumma inni sa'im. Oh Allah, I'm fasting. This is a reminder because it's real. You are a human being. You're not a robot. And Allah knows this. So when you fall off, you make a mistake, you don't just wave the white flag. I give up. I can't do this. No. You say to yourself, self, get up, try. And in that is the reward of Ramadan. Wallahi. And in that is the lesson, or one of them that you learn. Well, if I can do Ramadan, and I stop doing X, Y, or Z during 29 or 30 days, maybe I can improve. Maybe I can do better. Maybe I can do a little more. Like the Imam says, sometimes the Imam sounds crazy, talking to do this, do that, and don't do this, don't. Well, man, I'm trying to live, right? Yeah, but live authentically. Don't be a phony. Don't be a hypocrite. Don't be a liar. Don't be a crook. Don't be a criminal. Don't be a fasiq. Don't be a munafiq. Don't be a zalim. These are the things that Allah hates. And if these things are in you, as the fact is that it's some of that is in all of us, then that is the jihad of the nafs. I got to do battle with me. That's what Ramadan is. I'm doing battle with me. I ain't got time for you. When I fall on my knees, I'm praying for me. I don't have time for you. I don't have time to say, oh Allah, forgive Ali, Muhammad, Abdullah, Khalid, they all doing me wrong. They making me do X, Y, I don't know what to do. And then I get around to me. No, I got to go to Allah about me first. Wallahi. I got to go to Allah about me first. Right? And so, beloved brothers and sisters, this understanding is even more important today because let's look around us, right? Look at the country, look at the state, look at the city, look at the climate in the country. So it is a fact that most of us who grew up in our social context, right? We are victims and products of trauma, abuse, pain. We got trauma residue, we got abuse residue, because we've experienced life in this social context, as all human beings in their social context. So all of us are walking around hurt. All of us are walking around in pain. All of us are walking around feeling some kind of way about something. And now we're living in a time where it's being piled on. People don't know how to talk to each other. People don't know how to treat each other. People don't know what to say to each other. People don't say anything to each other. They have a problem with another person and they texting each other. We're forgetting how to speak words of healing. And this is what you're walking around when you say you're Muslim. All of these are words of healing. When you say Assalamu alaikum, that's a massage for the heart of the other person. I mean you no harm. May peace be with you. That's how deep it can get. The Prophet ﷺ has said this. لن تدخلوا الجنة حتى تؤمنوا ولا تؤمنوا حتى تحابوا ألا أدلكم على شيء إذا فعلتموه تحاببتم أفشوا السلام بينكم. The Prophet ﷺ has said, you will never go to Jannah until you believe. And you will never believe until you love one another. Can I give you something that helps you understand how to love one another? Afshu salama bainakum. Spread peace amongst yourselves. And all of the variations of what peace means. Love, empathy, kindness, compassion, consideration. These are the true values of this deen. This deen is not about putting on clothes. No matter what they are. Everybody in the building looks beautiful today. Wallahi. And there's a diversity in how we showed up today. Some of us are here in the thobe, beautiful. Some of us are here in the two-piece, beautiful. Some of us are here in the three-piece, beautiful. Our loafers are shining. We got a fedora on, alhamdulillah. We love all of that because it's a part of the beauty that Allah has placed amongst us. And we celebrate it. It's not about, and it's taking hold in our community here. Clothes. Now we got to the point that we're measuring garments. Your thobe shouldn't drag the ground. Your beard, brother. How long is your beard? Sister, how tightly wrapped is your khimar? How black is your garment? Right? But the hearts are blacker. Because you're supposed to be Muslim in here first before you put this on. And if you show up before Allah and this is empty, as Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, his dua was, qalb salim. I want a pure, clean heart. That's what's going to give me salvation. He didn't say a pure white thobe, a pure beautiful turban, a pure khimar. He said a pure white heart. And in order to have that status of salim, you have to engage in the work of cleaning the heart. Right? And so the work that we have to do includes really getting back to honoring each other, loving each other, caring about each other. And I'm not talking about little, popcorn, pseudo, love talk, hippie stuff for those of us from the 60s and 70s. Hey man, I'm talking about real love. That you mean your brother or your sister, no harm in your heart. Because if you mean your brother or your sister harm in your heart and you act like you don't, you might convince them in the moment. But when you go to Allah, Allah will ask you about, well, what about that animosity? What about that hatred that you conceal? So this is not a little thing, this is a big thing. Because أَنْتَ مَسْئُولٌ عَنْ ذَلِكَ. You will be asked about that. You will be asked about how we treated one another. This is why the spiritual lesson of following the Prophet is that when you really look at him, what is the thing that was most amazing about him? The most amazing, attractive, appealing thing about Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah said, إِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. His character, how he treated people, rahmah. They felt it, he gave it and they felt it. Nobody was beneath him. He was up here, but nobody was beneath him. This is how you follow the Prophet, brothers. You don't follow the Prophet by looking down on me, or me looking down on you. We gritting on each other. We Muslim, and this is what Muslims are doing all over the world. Don't take it personally. This is the fitna in the ummah. Everybody looking down on everybody else. Everybody's better than everybody else. You ain't better than nobody. And the Prophet ﷺ said, "Man sawaba anillah, rafa'ahu Allah." Whoever humbles themselves for the sake of Allah, Allah raises them up. So you don't have to raise yourself up. Allah will raise your status. Right? So, we have tremendous blessings that we must reflect on. The gift of Ramadan is a tremendous gift. The point that I mentioned about what's going on in our environment right now, where people are angrier and more frustrated. And then when they come to the mosque, they want some relief. And then they come to the mosque and we give them more grief. More grief on top of the grief they're already experiencing in other parts of their life. More pain, more hurt, more disillusionment. There's a reason why people don't want to come to the mosque. They don't want to come to the church. They don't want to go to the synagogue. They don't want to hear about God. They even believe in God. They just don't want to hear about God from you. That's not how the Prophet was. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That's why people listen to him talk about God. And the ones who rejected his message, they had a heart problem. But they didn't have a problem with the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So perhaps we can think about, in this social context where we are blessed with a tremendous quality of life. Tremendous. The only way that I can tell you to really get a point of reference is to step out of your comfort zone and go somewhere. Go travel somewhere. Go to another country. Go see how people are living. Where you may not have all the things that you want or all the things you think you need. But then you go and see people who are living with the most basic things. And they're happy and they're content. They're not happy to be poor. They're happy to be alive. They're happy to be blessed. And then you look at all you have. We have a tremendous quality of life. But the other thing that we can do to help us understand this point, we have a tremendous quality of material life. We have the cars, we have the technology, we have all of this stuff, the glitter. But what is the condition of our spiritual quality of life? Our emotional quality of life? I would argue that it's poor. And it's poor because we no longer focus on our hearts where we can appreciate the beauty of love, the beauty of compassion, the beauty of understanding. The Prophet ﷺ said, the most beautiful teachings are in the most simplest messages. He told his companion Abu Dhar, that anytime you make some food, make sure that you make a little extra food for your neighbor. Don't worry about what he got or not. Just do a little. It'll make you feel good and make them feel better. Why? Because it indicates that you care about a human being. You don't have to give him dawah. You don't have to beat him over the head. You don't have to tabligh him. فَذَكِّرْ إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُذَكِّرْ. You remind them by your action. There is a God. Here, take this food. The Prophet ﷺ taught his companions, like Abu Dhar, to do these things, to look after people, to make sure that they're okay. We have to reclaim this art of caring about one another. This is how we will have community. This is how our community will grow. When we replace the pain and the hurt, when we heal the trauma through love, through deliberate action, through recognizing I'm flawed, I'm not perfect, and neither are you. So when I do you wrong, I have to acknowledge that I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Forgive me, please. I have no right to violate you. And then we keep it moving. This is how we build the hearts, the bonds between us. Beloved brothers and sisters, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us at the end of Ramadan to understand the many blessings, to appreciate the gifts that Allah ta'ala has bestowed upon us and has given us. May Allah forgive us. May Allah reward us. The reward that He has promised us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us to appreciate the Quran, to appreciate being a part of this deen, to appreciate Allah, to love Allah. May Allah bless us to love Allah. May Allah bless us to love Allah. May Allah bless us to love Allah. May we understand that we are truly, truly, truly blessed as we are, that we are good. And once we recognize this, that is our launching point to being even better. قولي هذا واستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات من كل ذنب. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد. Closing, brothers and sisters, I promise that I wouldn't keep you too long. I have to speak to the obvious. And the obvious is that not everyone is celebrating Him today. And I want you to not let that be a point of distress or frustration or concern. Because everybody is Muslim. And everybody should be doing what they're doing for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the joy and the good news is that Ramadan, as the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, is 29 or 30 days. And if you had fasted 29 days, we have, may Allah accept from you.
Ameen.
May Allah give you all of the good that you sought. May Allah Ta'ala give you all of the forgiveness that you sought. May Allah Ta'ala accept all of your reading, all of your giving, all of your acts of restraint, all of your acts of contemplation and reflection. May Allah bless you to grow spiritually. May Allah Ta'ala bless you to feel that you have grown spiritually. Because this is what Ramadan is about. This is what the Eid is about. And we have to understand this. And this is why I preach it no matter where I am. Some of you know that I was in Reading for years. The same message. Because the same phenomena of the Muslims being against each other when they're supposed to be with each other. So I'll share with you very shortly. Right? So we were waiting for the Eid, even though we had predetermined that we would have Eid today. Right? And then we start. I had a guest in my house. Some of you know was here. And so we laughed. Right? Because Saudi Arabia was doing one thing. Right? And they announced that, well, maybe Eid is Wednesday. Right? Because it's astronomically impossible to sight the moon in the world. That's actually what the official statement said. Right? Then we find out the last minute that, no, they said Eid is today. So Eid is today in Saudi Arabia, but it's tomorrow in Egypt because Eid is today in Saudi Arabia. Because this is the reality of what we witness when we witness this going back and forth, when we witness countries vying to be the leader, to be the first. It's dunya vying. Everybody's competing against each other. And I know this for a fact. I'm not telling you something that I think, something I know. Everybody wants to be the first. We cannot adopt that in our context. So we start vying with each other so that the celebration of Eid becomes out so that I can outdo you or you can outdo me. But are we pleasing Allah? Sure, outdo me, brother. Go ahead. Knock yourself out, sister. May Allah accept from you. Go for it. But we won't have anything with this undermining. We throw this word around. We throw unity. I've been hearing unity since I was a little boy, the age of some of these little boys in here. The Muslims, unity. What is this thing, unity? I'm looking for it. Because unity is not when me and you sit in the room and we say we're going to do one thing, and you go behind my back. What they're going to do, so this is what we're going to do. And it's not a unique phenomenon to us. I'm not admonishing my people. I'm talking with love to let you understand that we have to rise above this and make everything that we do about Allah. And as long as we make everything that we do about Allah, we're good and Allah will bless us. But if we engage in all this stuff, and there's all kinds of stuff to engage in. You engage in cutthroating, you engage in backbiting, backstabbing, chewing people's back out. Or we can say, oh Allah, this is our effort. Accept from us, oh Allah. This is what we're doing. And then we go out and we show each other love. And so, beloveds, the baby is telling me to shut up. So, inshallah, one last thing, I want everyone today to compliment somebody else, preferably someone that you don't know. Compliment them on how they look. Embrace them warmly. Hug each other before you leave this building. Because Allah knows that is what fortifies the soul. It's the love between the Muslims, not the talk of love, but the real love. So show it to each other. Drop your defenses a little bit and hug your brother, hug your sister before you leave today. May Allah bless you, your families, our children. Allah protect our youth. I'm so happy to see so many young people here. Allah protect you. It's so much that you have to deal with, May Allah protect you. May Allah protect you. May Allah protect you. May Allah help you find your way. May Allah help you find your fortification. May Allah help you find your iman and stick with your iman. May Allah give you iman. May Allah give you love of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Takbir! 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 Allah Akbar!